What's up, you guys? I'm here with a new video today. I'm here to bring you guys the next episode of Tech for Thought, and as you can see, we are talking about quite the old card. We are here to talk about Summon Limit, you guys. Now, I don't know if a lot of you remember this card. It was released a long time ago. It was featured, I want to say, in maybe one or two competitive decks in the side deck. I don't know if it became a side deck staple, but it was definitely a card used back in the day. I'm talking at least in 2010, so we're talking a good like 6-7 years ago. And I'm bringing it to you today thanks to my boy. Shout out to Gage Scapegoat. I'll have his link in the description. You guys already know he helps me with all my outros, intros, all that, all that jazzy stuff. That's my good boy Gage. So the reason why we're talking about Summon Limit is because he has been hyping this card and just, telling me, Slim, you got to try this card. Slim, you got to try this card. Well, he got me with it. We played online one quick game during his stream, and I got massacred by it. I was playing Lightsworn, Minerva, so, I summon a bajillion times a turn. I'm playing zombies now, so I summon even more. Well, Summon Limit basically gave me the D and said I couldn't do that. So I thought, you know what? There's got to be more to it than just this one game. Let me, ask him why he is such an advocate for this card, and he basically broke it down to me. So before I tell you guys why I feel this is a really interesting card for this current format, we're going to get into what the card does. So the card reads, now the card text has been updated since the original version. This is the most up-to-date version. So this is the version I would pick up, and this is the version I would reference in the future. So what it says is neither player can summon more than 2 times per turn. Then in parentheses it has negated summons count towards this limit. Negated card/effects that would summon do not count. So that basically means if you negate a monster with Solemn Strike, Solemn Warning, it counts towards that limit. So summon once, strike, you have one more summon. But if it's an effect that would special summon, that would summon like say Zodiac Barrage, if you negate that, that does not count. So that's just one thing you need to know. If they barrage, you flip limit, and say you negate it with say you pop it with Dryden, or say you ogre it or something, it's not going to count. They are still going to get 2 summons, so remember that. Now you guys may be wondering, why is that good? Well, let's break down the decks of the meta right now. We just had YCS Denver take place, and Infernoids took first place. Now, unfortunately, I don't feel this card is that effective against Infernoids. Now, granted, I know Infernoids are a great deck. They are definitely in the top 3, top 5, whatever you want to call it in Yu-Gi-Oh right now. Unfortunately, I don't feel that Summon Limit is the best card against. And the reason why I say that is because even if they resolve the grass is greener, most likely they're only going to be summoning maybe 1 Infernoid, maybe 2 off of that. And usually it's one of the big ones, Deviati or Inoku, so that just nukes the board. And, it already gives them their level cap. So I don't feel this card is that good against them. I mean, I guess I could see the situations where they would snow and maybe do Raiden if they're doing a Lightsworn engine, or do Petrulio or Harmadic to make an Omega. So you could potentially stop them there. You could flip Summon Limit. They summon the Snow, they summon the Raiden, that's it. But I wouldn't really count it against that deck. I feel that this card is more well geared towards the Zoodiac matchup as well as the Paleozoic matchup, and I guess to an extent the Metal Foe matchup. So to start with Zoodiac, we already know Zoodiac without a doubt is still the most represented deck in the format. Is it the best deck? We don't know. This format is too young. We've had one event to really just kind of break it down, and I feel that we can't really decide if Zoodiac really is the best deck. But what can this card do against Zoodiac? So Zoodiacs usually need to normal summon Ratpier, or they need to use Barrage in order to get their summons out. So if they do that, that's 1 summon. Now, what is usually the next play that Zoodiacs do? Well, usually they go Borbo, or sometimes they go Broad Bull, depending on what their line of play is. Now, we all know everyone is playing the Fusion Substitute combo with Lunalight Black Sheep. Now, if you count how many times your opponent would summon in that turn, you're going to lose track. I've watched the streams. I still lose track. I don't know how many times they summon a turn. It's pretty insane. I'm not going to lie. But flipping Summon Limit on them basically means, okay, you normal summon Ratpier. That's 1 summon. Say you overlay to Boardbow. Guess what, bro? That's it. 2 summons. That's all you get. Pretty damn effective. Now let's do other scenarios. They have Barrage. Same thing. Special out Rat. Overlay into Borbo. Guess what? Same thing. You're only getting your 2 summons. Now, granted, to play around this, they could just make a Dryden. But I can tell you right now, I would rather deal with a rat, with a simple Dryden over a rat than anything else. They can't do anything with that Dryden. They all they can do is detach to pop. That's all they can do. And usually with 6 cards, we can play around a Trident, if our deck is built effectively to counter that. And I think that's really interesting that this card alone literally tells Zoo, well, don't get to play your deck. Next, let's go to Paleozoics. So Paleozoics are interesting because unfortunately they can chain to this trap. However, in the same situation, even if they chain, I believe at most they will only get 2, possibly 3 Paleozoics out, and they cannot make their Totally Awesome that turn. Reason being, if they activate a trap, and then they chain trap, you chain limit, they chain another card, that's 2 summons, that's all they get. Once they have their 2 1200 attack point Paleozoics out, they cannot make Ophimbina. They cannot make Totally Awesome. They cannot make any of their OTK cards like Cat Shark or Daigusto Phoenix. I think that's really interesting. Another thing back on Zoodiacs I forgot to mention, the Lunalite combo. It ain't happening with Summon Limit. You usually do. I don't even play Zoo myself, so I don't actually play the Lunalite combo, but I know that like you make how many times you make Norden? Like 50 million times, like in one turn? Well, that's not going to happen. You're limited to 2 summons, not 2 special summons, 2 summons in general. And Summon Limit will recognize whatever summons you make. So I think that's really interesting against Zoo. And like I said, against Paleozoic, I feel that it will cut them off from the main cards they're trying to summon, which are Totally Awesome, Ophimbina, rank 2s, etc. Now you may be saying to yourself, Slim, the one problem I have with this card, it's a trap. This is true. When I did my first Tech for Thought, I talked about Soul Release, about how it was more effective than Imperial Iron Wall and Lancia because you could just slap it down and continue on with your turn. Now, granted, this card is something that, you would usually have to chain, but it can come in handy because opponent summons, normal summons Rat, then they overlay to Borbo, flip Summon Limit, their turn of summoning ends. Because Summon Limit recognizes the amount of summons the opponent does even after being activated. So by doing that, you're actually able to cut them off right then and there, and they walk right into it. So I think that's very, very interesting. And I'll give another example. When I was playing Gage, he flipped Summon Limit on me when I was playing Minerva. Well, I went Solitaire into Unizombie, did the Unizombie thing, banished Mizuki to bring up another zombie, and my summoning was done. I could not proceed any further. That really hindered the Lightsworn zombie deck. So that's something to think about. These 60 card decks, while they will most of the time, if they have a way, resolve the grass is greener, unless you yourself are playing a 60 card deck, cutting them off from their summons is really important in this format. And I think that this is a very interesting card to bring to your guys' attention because I don't think a lot of people are talking about it. I definitely didn't think about it till Gage brought it to my attention and then beat me savagely with it. It definitely opened my eyes to other cards that are out there that you definitely need to try because we all know the norms, we all net deck, we all copy what people put in their side decks and their main decks as techie cards, but sometimes it's nice to go back to the drawing board to really analyze cards for what they do and their effects in different metas. This was used against X-Sabers. I just remembered now, Angel Flores, when he won SJC Anaheim, used it to stop X-Sabers because they would go Bogart Knight, Monster, their turn would end. They didn't get to make Hyunlei, they didn't get to proceed, they didn't get to go full troll, summon another X-Saber, they didn't get to do any other plays. Very, very interesting. I think this card is really, really cool. Same thing against Samurais. Kageki and the Kagemusha, well, that's it. There's your 2 summons, bro. So I think it's a very, very interesting card, and I think it definitely deserved a spot here on Tech for Thought. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you like Summon Limit? Are you willing to try Summon Limit? Do you feel that it has, its pros and its cons, just like every other card? Are you going to try it out yourself? If you are, tell me why. Do you feel it's good against the current format? I feel it's very interesting against the current format. It definitely can lock the opponent out of their plays. So I think it's definitely something you guys should check out. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, please show your support by smashing that like button. Just follow me on all my social medias down below. I also have created a Patreon, you guys. I don't know if you guys are aware, but everyone on YouTube is basically getting boycotted. The ads are, I don't know what's really going on. I've been watching a couple videos on it, but we are not making the same amount we were making before, and due to that, we are just not getting the same numbers, same everything, and it's been really hard. I know John mentioned it in his last video, talking about how it's hard when you work as hard as, he does, vigorously uploading videos and then getting such a minimal payout and a minimal view, view count compared to what it used to be. So I also made a Patreon because I actually have gone back to school and I work part-time. I actually do not have the funds to fully, create the best content I can. And I've returned to the channel, and I really want to start doing about 5 videos a week. I know that sounds like a lot, but with all these segments returning, Tech for Thought, back in the day, the deck series, I do want to bring back the good, the bad, and the Yu-Gi-Oh! That's definitely coming, you guys. I really want to talk about this format and talk about why certain decks are doing so well. And I also want to bring back, I kind of want to do card discussions, like separate from Tech for Thought. I want to do card discussions on new cards coming out. If that's something you guys would like to see, let me know in the comments below. And as Patreon goes, I'll have it linked below as well, and I'll have like a little thing up here on the end screen. As simple as basically donating $1 a month, $1 a month, and I'll be able to, I really want to buy a new camera, you guys. I don't know if you guys can see, I have had this little camcorder since I basically started my channel, and I look at everyone's camcorder and mine sucks compared to theirs. I cannot get the high HD quality I want. I have to struggle to render the videos. The files are completely different. It doesn't even recognize them as regular files compared to what everyone is using these days. So I definitely wanted to invest in a new camera. I also wanted to invest in a green screen. I actually want to, unfortunately, say bye-bye to the cabinet sometimes and put a green screen back there to give you guys a really cool visual effect when I make videos and when I do discussions. But anyways, if you would like to support me on Patreon, I would really appreciate it. The link will be down in the description. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Tech for Thought. Let me know the next card you want me to talk about. Please mention cards that I won't even think about, just like Gage did, because I think it's awesome to talk about cards that have not been talked about in a long time. And please try out Summon Limit for yourself and let me know what you guys think. Do you feel it's effective against the format? And if so, what is your success that you've had with the cards? Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.